Remember guys, snitches get stitches.
Parking lot, after school, it's on. Teachers don't fight.
Welcome back guys. I just watched Fist Fight starring Ice Cube and Charlie Day. This movie is about two teachers who are going to face off at the end of the day with their fists. Ice Cube plays this angry teacher who cares a lot about his students and about the school, but then he gets fired over this incident in class. He gets snitched on by Charlie Day's character, who is full of emotions throughout the whole day because he doesn't want to fight the scariest person in the world right now. So it is pretty funny trying to see him avoid this fight. Now, I was very skeptical about watching this movie because ever since I watched the trailer, which was like once, I thought that it showed way too much about the movie, especially like the high school pranks, the high school students, and actually like a lot of the jokes that were in the trailer were actually in the movie. But the movie does a good job at delivering those jokes even though they were in the trailer, and I still found them funny. Now, although the high school was very unrealistic to real high schools and the pranks were like over the top, I think most of them landed for me. Majority of them were like over the top. So I expected it to be like, you know, this is a movie. I get it. It's over the top. Now, the best thing about this movie, I believe, is Ice Cube. If you guys like Ice Cube in 21st Jump Street or 22 Jump Street, then you're gonna like him. Charlie Day's character actually took me a while to get used to him and like him, because in the beginning of the movie, I felt like some of his lines were a little bit too forced. And it was just kind of hard to see him doing those kind of comedy jokes, and like a little bit was too vulgar for his character. But then eventually throughout the story, it thins out a little bit more and you get to learn a whole lot more about him. And he actually becomes like the best thing in the movie towards the end. Like, for example, in the beginning of the movie, I think everything was like a little bit too crowded. They were trying to show us like too much as far as like the pranks, the high school students, and they were trying to introduce us to like Ice Cube and Charlie Day's character, I think too soon. I think they wanted us to know like who they were, but I feel like they could have introduced us those characters like at separate times just to get a feel of what they were like, instead of like bam, all on your face all at once. But luckily for us, the story does thin out and it does get funnier and it progresses very well with different characters. Now, we do get other characters in this movie like Hank from Breaking Bad. He is very funny as his principal and I really liked him in this movie a lot. Now we have Jillian Bell in this movie, who I think was very funny for the most part, but some of her lines I felt like were like a little bit too forced. She plays this teacher who's like into drugs and like sex, and I think some of her lines were just like a little bit too much, and I was just like, you know, maybe that joke shouldn't have been there, because I know some of the audience didn't laugh at some of her jokes, and I was just like, okay, I'm not the only one on the boat. Tracy Morgan was actually in this movie. I completely forgot about that, and although he didn't have enough screen time as like the rest of the cast did, he had a bunch of good lines and I laughed like almost at every single one of them. We of course get introduced to other cast members, like as far as like the faculty, as other teachers and like security guards and police members, but I felt like there wasn't enough of them for me to like care much about him. For example, like the redhead teacher, she's kind of like super like extremely weird, and she has like kind of like the dark humor, but I felt like that was so out of place, especially in one scene where she walks past Charlie Day's character and it's really awkward, and like the line that she delivers or like whatever she did in that scene was just very cringe worthy, and I was just like, oh god, like that shouldn't have been there at all. It was just out of place. Now obviously we do get the fist fight at the end of the movie and it was worth the wait. Towards the end of the movie and it's worth the wait. The events leading up to this fight was hilarious, and I think that was like the best part of the movie. Also, this is where Charlie Day's character shines. I mean, he is hilarious throughout this entire sequence of scenes. It's so funny. But then the movie ends like on the biggest cliche. We've seen this in many comedies, actually, like cop buddy comedies, or like, you know, enemies against like friends, or like villains and superheroes. Like we get like these cliches all the time. So I kind of saw it coming. So I wasn't really surprised that they did that, but at the same time, it kind of like pushed me off like the comedic platform, and I was like, okay, well now the movie's gonna end, obviously. But the talent show scene with the daughter, the best scene in the movie itself, took me by surprise. I was not expecting it at all, and well, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are going to expect that. Now the movie does end with bloopers, which is pretty cool, because at the end of the movie we do get those cliches, and I was like kind of like just like meh, I expected it, but with those bloopers at the end of the movie I left with a smile on my face. So guys, that is my review of this movie. I think the beginning was a little bit too much and crowded, but then they do thin out the plot a little bit more and we get to learn a lot more about these characters. Some of the characters themselves I feel like weren't necessary in this movie, but the combination of Charlie Day and Ice Cube was pretty good in this movie, and I enjoyed them watching them a lot. I had no expectations for this movie, and I actually thought this movie was going to be kind of bad, but I'm glad I was wrong. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. So if you guys have watched the Lego Batman movie or John Wick 2, then I suggest watching this one, especially if you guys like Ice Cube and Charlie Day. They are pretty funny. I really enjoyed them. If you guys like Horrible Bosses or like 24 Jump Street, then you're going to enjoy this movie. So guys, if you guys like this video, make sure to share and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you guys like my channel or you like the content that I do, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always guys, stay tuned.